It is Aaron Sands, and welcome to King Talk Season 3. Let's get smarter.
Hey, what up? It's your boy Aaron Sands, and I know you're enjoying this episode of King Talk right now, but I want to dive in a little bit and talk about the Premier Boys podcast. You got me, Aaron Sands, Ken the Gentleman, the homie Roddy Rod, and long live the Chief Mally Mal, all in the building, talking about the hottest entertainment topics, the hottest news topics, and giving our own take on what's going on out here in these streets. It can get raunchy. It could get crazy. You might even be talking about somebody's mama. Who knows? But every Wednesday at midnight, check us out on Apple, Good Pods. Don't forget to drop that 5-star rating and all wherever else you hear your podcast. Now back to the show, man.
King Talk. Yeah, that's me. What's going on? It's your man's Aaron Sands, and we are back at it. Yes, I know it's been a long time, and yes, I know it's been a hell of a minute, but you already know what it is. It's King Talk. How has everybody been doing? Hopefully, your day's been going well. Hopefully, your week's been going well. And if you've been checking this out for a little long time, you notice I wasn't here for a while, so hopefully your winter has been going well. But yeah, so just wanna take the time out to thank everybody who's been supporting King Talk over the course of the years and everything. It's been much appreciated. Very much so. We made a lot of strides over the course of time, from the first season going on to where we are now. And honestly, I just want to be able to take the time out to thank you guys for actually pushing this out, pushing the word out for King Talk, even if, I haven't been around to push out episodes of King Talk myself, but still, if people are still listening to prior episodes, they know there's a lot of lessons in those episodes that you can use, on your everyday life. So I want to take the time out to thank everybody who's been supporting this podcast, for the years that I've been doing this. So how can I begin this? And to be fair, this episode, I usually have like topics lined up and everything like that. This isn't that type of episode. This is basically, if you've seen the title, you already know what it is. It's what's going on with Aaron Sands. And honestly, I've taken some time to really think about that and figure out what's going on with me. And I've been doing a lot outside of the podcast and even outside of Premier Boys. You may see me on Premier Boys, but I'm doing a lot of behind the scenes work and doing a lot of other stuff outside of this. And in doing that, I look up and I realize, holy shit, I haven't really been giving the attention that this particular podcast deserves. And it shows, honestly. It really does show. So as I'm doing this, I'm planning a lot, with what I'm doing with life, whether it's, looking out for my mental health, whether it's, doing what I do in my personal career, my professional career, outside of like podcasting and what I'm doing with my like relationship and everything that's been going on with that in terms of me, stepping into a new realm and that's been, stepping into a new, level in this relationship that I've been in for so long, me actually being a husband, or getting ready to be for the most part. Which I'll actually get into in the next episode. But in the midst of all of that, I've been juggling so much, and in the midst of me juggling like a clown, I look and I think like, well, damn, what's going to be next for King Talk? And I had that conversation. I had that conversation with my peers, my friends, family. And I think it's time. I think it'll be best if I take this. And this is a tough part because it means it, you know. Honestly, I think it is best if I do step away and, you know, focus on the things that I need to focus on, gear my attention towards things that I really need to gear my attention on. And it's hard to do all of that while streaming and still being consistent. So, yeah, it's safe to say, we're going into the last few episodes of the King Talk with Aaron Sands series. And it's not the easiest thing to discuss. I mean, originally I've been thinking about this for a little while now. Honestly, this episode itself was supposed to have been recorded on Thursday and dropped for the Friday release, but I wanted to drop this off now because I always feel like the sooner the better. You know, I'm always a sooner we can get things done, the better off things will be, and it's easier to plan for the future. Yeah, that's it's weird. You know, you look at it like this. You know, am I giving up? Yeah, that's a good question. With King Talk coming to a close, am I giving up on podcasting? The answer to that is no. I am not giving up on podcasting. Do I need time to figure out what's going to be next? Yes, and luckily I do have an idea of what I want to do as my next steps when it comes down to podcasting and everything of that sort. I do have a strong idea of how I want to take this and where it could go, you know. Or what the next steps would be anyway, and where that can go. It gives, like, the good thing about me stepping back from the King Talk series is basically just me taking that time to figure out, all right, is that me walking away from King Talk altogether? But it's like, all right, I'm taking that step back and I want to see how I can evolve it. Will the name change? Of course, you know. Granted, it's not like King Talk, but after doing this for a long period of time, I see where I want this to go. And I feel like with the brand that I'm doing now, it hasn't been as consistent as what I would like it to be, you know. And the new brand of podcasting that I want to, you know, lead with going into like fall of 2023 and beyond. One, I wanted to be more interactive. I want to be able to speak to you guys, you know what I'm saying? Like on pod. I want to be able to have more guests. I feel like with King Talk, I haven't really had, you know, and I have to some extent, but not to the way I would like. So I want to be able to have more guests on the pod where we're talking about a lot of these issues and how we can get better. You know what I'm saying? I also want to be more consistent. And the key word being consistent in this space. Because listen, you could drop a fire episode or a fire couple of episodes, you know, for like 2-3 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Depending on how your frequency episodes come out. But after a while, if you don't drop anything, you know, after a long time, people will forget about you. It's just like when I used to promote. When you used to hear me talk about this all the time. I used to promote events and parties. And yeah, you go to a club, you promoting at a club for like 2 or 3 weeks, and you're the guy. You know, you're hitting numbers. You know, people start to look at you as the guy. You know, but the one thing you can't do is rest on your laurels, because when you're not producing or you're not coming out as much, people will tend to forget about you. People have a short, you know, a lot of people have a short attention span, a short memory. Could it be from the weed they smoke? Who knows? Could it be for the fact that a lot of people got things going on in their life and they can't just remember every last memory? That's the thing too. But the point remains: if you're not producing, people will forget you. If you're not showing up, people will forget you. And that's the same thing with podcasting too. I've noticed, like, when you're up, people will show you love for better or for worse. But when you're not showing up, that's where it gets kind of shaky, because now people aren't going to remember you as much. People, you look at your average person, they have a bunch of podcasts they listen to, and if they're not seeing yours, best believe they're seeing someone else's, which is nothing wrong, because we have the ability to switch between what we want to listen to. I listen to YouTube all the time. There's many people I subscribe to. Few of those people, they go live at the same time. So I go through their lives at the same time. So I understand it from a viewer aspect of it, and that's who we do it for. That's who podcasters do it for. We don't just do this just to get on here and do it for ourselves, because so we wouldn't be podcasting. A lot of it would just come. A lot of our thoughts would just be like in journals, like how it was back in the 90s. But when you're talking in these spaces, whether it's with Spotify for podcasters, or Apple Podcasts, or Twitter Spaces, things like that, we have our thoughts and we want to get it out to other people. So yes, the goal is to build that audience, to have that back and forth, and I feel like I'm not gonna lie, I've missed the mark on that here. I have. And there's nobody to blame about that but myself. I can't blame my executive producer. I can't blame my bros. I can't blame my family. This is my baby, and I have to hold L on that. So, King Talk ending. That's the fact. When is it ending? That's also a good question. I see myself doing this episode, another episode with just, with the average, you already know what we do with the news. We talk about the news, how it related to real life. But I also want to talk about like the whole, marriage situation on this podcast too, and how my thoughts are, what my thoughts are on that, and I might have to draw that out over the course of time, which I will. But yeah, I have that one, and then I'll do one more episode. So all told, this one and the next two, I have about 3 more episodes I'll do for King Talk, and then we'll call it curtains for this. Now, like I said before, this is not the end of the Aaron Sands podcasting experience. Just because King Talk is over doesn't mean, or it's not over, but getting close to, doesn't mean that there's a new rebrand on the way. And that's something I want to work on over the course of late spring, early summer. Will I return? You know it. When I'll return? Maybe the fall. If not fall of 2023, winter of 2024, the latest, because I'm like looking at how other podcasts work, and me starting out and what I'm doing. Like, this was a good starting point for me to learn a lot, learning what to do, the do's and don'ts. And now that I know, I want to come back for everything that I came for, and I actually want to take this a lot more serious than I have, and I feel like this new lane will help me get there. And when I get there, I want to be able to stay there. We had long streaks of being number one, and we had continuous success at the top of certain charts. And a lot of that came down to you, the fans, listening and encouraging me to still do what I do on a regular basis. Is this easy? Hell fucking no. I'm nervous as hell every time I hit record and turn this mic on. But at the same time, my intent is for people to listen to what I have, listen to what I put out here, and have people apply it to their lives each and every day, so that way they could be better versions of themselves each and every day. Like that's really important to me. I want to be able to. I always wanted to like help people, and I feel like that's a common trait with people. But I always wanted to help people and give advice. You know, a lot of friends come to me personally and ask for advice for a lot of the life issues that they go through. You know, and I try to give it my best, give them the best way I could, give them advice the best way I know how. Do I sugarcoat a lot of shit? I try not to, you know, but we're human. We want to be able to speak the truth and not hurt people's feelings. Problem with that is, you know, I feel like people don't be genuine with it, you know, genuine with what they say, because of the fact they try to hold back a little bit. And I'm learning now that you can't always do that. It's never in their favor. It's never, you know, it's never in the best interest for the person asking for advice. So I've been kind of like, you know, I haven't been pulling my punches lately. And I like that. You know, I really do. In terms of moving on to the next set of, next level of podcasting, I want to be able to like do a show where I could give advice and keep it as blunt as possible. Just kind of like how I do here, you know, but I also want to speak to people as well. So, as time goes on, I got to do a lot on my end when it comes down to reaching out to other people and wanting to be on a new situation at the same time, looking to be guests at other spaces, you know? So that's a big thing for me. And hopefully I could like reach that and then get to a better space within the podcasting space. Another question that I've seen people ask me is like, hey, does that mean are you taking a step back from Premier Boys? Answer to that one is no. Hell no. Matter of fact, the last episode I kind of said some wild shit. I think I was going off on Will Smith about some bullshit. I really forgot what it was, I'm gonna be honest with you. But I was told that I was giving it up too rough. And I was like, hey, listen, I have to look at that situation like how I look at my people, right? How I look at my bros. If my bro come to me and say, oh, I'm with a shorty, but she keep treating me bad, and you still going back to shorty, it's like after a certain time, like I'm gonna get frustrated, and it's gonna, you know, it's gonna get a bit contentious. But I'm speaking on those points as if it's one of my own people going through it, because, you know, honestly, it very well could be, you know. People like dudes could be going through a whole Will Smith situation, but on a whole lower level because you're not involving money and things like that. But, you know, you get played out here and they might not really grasp that. And that could be a real problem. So if it takes me yelling on a podcast to be like, hey, wake the fuck up, get off your ass because you're selling yourself short, then that's what you got to do. You know, then that's what I got to do. You know, and at times I had to give myself that talk because I had to deal with that here. I haven't been showing up for myself in this space the way I used to be. I wasn't showing up for myself. And if I want to do better, you got to show up for yourself. Whether it's in a relationship, whether it's with like podcasts, or whether it's in your professional or personal, you can never forget to show up for yourself. And yeah, you know, and I might be going off on a tangent here, but work with me. Like, no matter what you're doing, you have to show up for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to disappoint anybody else but you. So I really hope people do understand that. And I do want to do more with the podcast and space. But for now, King Talk is we're getting close to the series finale. And honestly, to be real, I could see I see myself doing like the third season was going to be the the season where it's going to be make and break, and I feel like we made strides, but I want to do so much more, and I might not be able to do with the King Talk brand, but I could also do it with another. I could also rebrand and do it bigger than what I ever would have done for King Talk, and that's my intent. That's my goal. But until we get to that point, check out these next 2 episodes. It's definitely going to be fire. You're not going to be disappointed. Also check out my IG, Aaron Sands Premiere, link in the description, to check out any new updates on upcoming episodes. All seasons of King Talk will be available on all streaming platforms. Still, I ain't taking shit down. All right, because the way I see it, if I'm successful with this new move, then I want my failures to also be on. I want my failures to also be on display, because that then tells me, hey, listen, this is where I came from. It gives a template for people to see, hey, this is where I came from. This is how I started. Was it rough? Yes. Did I want to give up? Fucking right. Did I have to switch things up to get to where I had to get to? Of course. But did I grow? Yes. Am I going to do better than what I've done? Am I going to actually hit expectations that I didn't hit before? Yes. I'm speaking that to existence now, because that's one of the goals that I have for myself personally. So if anybody could, if anybody ever had a goal they wanted to reach, yes, speak that shit into existence. But then guess what? You gotta get up in the morning and go do that shit. So go ahead and do that shit. You owe it to yourself. But until then, you can follow me on Aaron Sands Premiere, my IG, link in the description. King Talk Sands on Good Pods and Twitter, link in the description. I want to take the time to thank you guys so very much. You gotta understand, especially going through what I'm going through with the stuff that I've been dealing with. I haven't, how can I put this? I've been kind of struggling to actually try to do this the way I've been wanting to. And the fact that I'm able to do it the way I'm doing it, and actually hit numbers that I was hitting with this situation, I mean, it's been a great deal. I'm really grateful for that. And the people that I do want to thank is you guys for just listening, liking on Good Pod, sharing my stuff with people, things like that. I've been real grateful for that, more than you'll ever know. So I want to thank you guys for listening, tuning in, doing what you do, being as great as you be, and until next time, we'll see you again and then go from there. All right. Check out my next episode. When that drop, I'll give you the dates for that when that drop on Aaron Sands Premiere. But until then, it's your man's Aaron Sands, and this has been King Talk. Take care.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, your host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast and 1/4 of the Premier Boy Podcast. And you are now listening to my brother Aaron King Talk Sands show, King Talk with Aaron Sands. Yeah!